No script on the hill. Take 3.
Ryan struck me immediately as being just extremely
fun-loving,
very respectful,
willing to take that challenge.
Gentle giant.
He's a powerhouse.
A hard hitter.
He can run over you and he can run around you. So I think his game is going to transpire well into the college world, and I'm excited to see what he accomplishes there.
It looks nice. It wasn't the font that I was expecting, but it's on Etsy. Can I do it? Can I do your head on a stick?
So we can all be sitting around with little Ryan heads.
Please, can I do Ryan heads? I'm gonna see if I can expedite shipping. What do you think? What do you think?
Go ahead.
I like it.
I think that it all just comes from us knowing what we would have wanted, and we put that into him. We were really passionate about giving him everything that we would have wanted.
I might steam it a little bit.
Yeah, get all the little creases out.
Get all the little creases out. I like it. Congratulations, Ryan!
Starting sinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
We got some kids coming in. That's going to help us hopefully get back to where we were last year and win this thing.
What's going on, Coach?
Man, you produce productive people.
Yes, sir.
What's up, baby? You good?
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, I would just see him walking down, walking in the class, minding his business, and then he had on a shirt that, what was it, I Am Barabbas?
Nah, it was Free Barabbas.
Free Barabbas, yes. And I was like, that's an interesting start, and I just called him Barabbas since then.
It's a biblical term. And Jesus Christ, right before his crucifixion, he was in jail with a man named Barabbas, and basically he took Jesus Christ. He took Barabbas' place.
Tell him about Barabbas' backstory. What was Barabbas?
He was a criminal. He was pretty bad.
Bad dude.
Yeah,
bad
real
dude.
bad dude.
Rapist, murderer, like all that.
All that. It was like worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But he was in there, and basically Jesus Christ, he went up there and he replaced Barabbas so Barabbas could be free. So it was almost like we are Barabbas, because how Jesus died for our sins and he forgives us. So almost like in a way we are Barabbas, and Jesus Christ, he's our Lord and Savior.
I was just like, what's this young kid know about Barabbas? What do you know about that? So, but he understood, and I was like, oh, okay. And like I said, he was Barabbas. That was his thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Ryan was about 3 days old. Now, his dad was driving trucks at the time, and he was gone. And I got scared. I was like, oh my God, I have a whole baby. I have a whole child. I don't know what to do with this. And I realized that I loved him like a lot. I really love this baby. It's a whole baby, but I really love him. So I got really scared because I knew that there were things that I was not going to be able to protect him from. And I got really scared. So I never understood baby dedications until that moment. So I got down on my knees and gave him back to the very person who had created a love like that, because I'm like, well, what is this? So with that being said, I always have this running joke where I say, he's not mine. That's not my child. And people kind of laugh when I say that, but it's not a joke. He's not mine. I gave him right back.
He was not your typical child. He was very determined at what he was going to do. I remember when he was about 1 year old, we put him in his baby bed and he would climb out of it. And so if he told you he was going to do something, you better believe that he was going to do it.
I always like challenges. I like finding the ways to overcome challenges, finding different ways to maneuver myself, and finding more ways to better myself. I like the difficulty of it.
His first words were ball. That's his very first word, was ball. His second word was dada. I kept trying to get him to say mama. I would say ma, mama, mama, and he'd be kind of dancing and looking at me, and he said, da. He wasn't even a year. And I'm like, oh, you have jokes, right? You have jokey jokes. So he was funny. He would always find a way to crack a joke. His dad was like, he's going to play sports. I'm like, no, he's going to be an academician. Right. Well, sports took over.
Ryan was a big kid. So he started playing sports about 2 years old. He started off with soccer,
We have been on the baseball field,
t-ball,
karate.
basketball,
We have been to basketball.
and he finally came to me about 5 years old and he said he wanted to play real football. So that was really, truly something that I introduced him to a lot of different sports and a lot of different activities. And I wanted him to make a choice because whatever he chose to do, we were going to support him regardless.
When I was young, started off playing flag football. Right? Then one day I just told my dad, I'm like, hey, I want to play real football, And at the time, I was still like too young to play, so I had to play with like this local group, Coach Al. And I remember going out there for first day of practice. I was playing them. It was like these dudes were like way bigger than me. I was just like, I didn't know what I got myself into. And then first day of practice, they put me on with the pads and stuff. Halfway through practice, I told my dad, I got a boo-boo. but
He goes, Dad, I think I'm ready to play real football.
I was more like I'm gonna go out there and hit somebody type of dude. I didn't want to just tap him on their hip or just try to yank the flag, because first it's easier if I just, instead of trying to reach and grab us at their hip, to just run at them and just like get them on the ground,
He would not avoid anybody. He would have an open lane and see somebody else and just go hit somebody for no reason. He didn't have to. And then of course for us, he played both ways, so offense and defense. He would just, any contact he was looking for, which was weird because he would hit the kid and then stand up and then smile about it. And it's like, that hurt, dude, but he didn't care.
I always knew he was the biggest. He would reach out and he was blocking a lot of kids with one hand.
I remember Ryan carrying the team, getting those touchdowns. Ryan was always one of those guys that just stood out because, a lot of times people want the fame and the lights, but they don't want to put the work in, the practice. And he was one of those kids that you always saw him practicing and wanting to get better.
He loved football so much that he would practice it, and he would practice it on his own, come up with new techniques, ideas, and thoughts. He taught himself how to snap with both hands, his right and his left hand. And it was just stuff that we got to the point that we had to start checking with Ryan if things were going wrong. Like, okay, Ryan, what are you doing differently? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm snapping with my left hand now. Okay, if you say so. What made you do that? He was like, well, if the guy lines up on my right side, I snap with my left hand. If he lines up on my left side, I snap with my right hand. But he didn't tell nobody that, so.
There was this team that he was on at the end of the game. I don't know what's going on because I don't know anything about football. The black man came up to me. He had a cane. He said, where's number 18's mama? And I'm like, what did Ryan do? And I was like, and he said it again. He was like, where's number 18's mama? And I was like, that's me. And he was like, that's a bad boy right there. That's a bad boy. And Ryan had to be like in second grade. I was like, thank you.
45-85, right there. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I need y'all to bring some energy today. Y'all still sleep. Hey, if I'm that point guy, and I never step at you, what should you be doing? Mirror, right? Now I'm just mirroring. If I'm here and I'm waiting, I go up this way, now I'm mirroring. As soon as I step upfield, that's when I latch on. We got that. But if I never step at you, that's the mirror phase, just mirroring. As soon as he steps at me, I'm clawing him. We got it? Here we go.
A lot of guys don't think I'll be looking, but I'll be looking at everything. I'll be looking at the stands, see who's in the stands, see what they do on the sideline. And if you notice, sometimes, when I'm studying guys and I'm not getting what I want out of them, I'll cut that music off. I'll cut that music off real fast.
Oh, the blow the whistle. You was in the blow the whistle.
And I do that for them a reason, because again, to me, it's showing that they're not paying attention. They're not focused. They're not in tune to what's going on. And if that music is going to distract you out here in practice, it's going to do the exact same thing in the game time.
Get upfield! Upfield! Good job! We got goal! Go! Finish! It don't matter, finish!
What makes you go to 45? We going Lou. So if it's Lou, I'm calling the mic. Lou to my is our left. So I'm like, if I say right, our mic is on the right. So you opposite, I guess.
Cause like, it ain't to no fields and no.
Yeah, the back is in the dot.
Yeah, the back in the dot. Now the back had a
side, that's when that person to penetrate.
Yeah, the back had a. Yeah,
but he
side.
said if he in the dot, it was supposed to be me, the 3 pick.
Yeah, we should call it then.
We are always learning. We're going to be the up and down, but you can't get better if you're not learning, if you're not trying to learn. Everybody don't know everything, not even Coach McDowell, not even his staff. But believe me you, if there's something that I don't know, I'm going to ask.
Offensive player of the year, Kobe Lewis.
I got Offensive Player of the Year. I really respect it. They gave me the leadership award. This one I'm really proud of, man. I bleed that purple and gold. That's all you need to know.
CJ Presley.
Thank you for the award. It's an honor. Appreciate my staff and my teammates.
I really wasn't expecting an award. I'm just blessed to receive it. That's all I got.
For the most improved defensive player, twin Jamal Marshall.
I just want to say thank you for this award. This means a lot to me. But I got most improved. I came a long way from 2 years ago. So this means a lot to me to get this award.
The special teams player of the year is Efren Janso.
So here at PV, one of the things that we're doing is we're putting together what I call the Panther pillars, right? 5 pillars of excellence: academic, athletics, career development, personal development, and community service. And so I feel like what we're trying to do here is to make sure that our athletes come here as young people and leave here as grown people. And when I say grown people, meaning that they're able to handle responsibilities of the real world. And so I think we put a great emphasis on that, and so that's one of the things that we're trying to do here.
I feel like we're the ones that kind of shape the students to who they are once they graduate from college. So athletics has to be kind of strong when it comes to mentorship, because a lot of students come here as freshmen. They're kids. They don't know the real world. And once they get here, they're still kids. They still don't know exactly what happens in the real world, but it's our job, it's our responsibility to kind of guide them in the right direction and set them up for greatness when they leave.
He went to a lot of universities, him and his dad, over the summers, you know, visiting campus and to camps and things. And last year, summer, every time Ryan would go, when he come home, he and I would get on the phone and we would talk about it. And I had a calendar and list of every colleges that he was going to and the dates, so I knew where he was when. And we would talk about it, and I said, Ryan, how you like that college? It's okay, Grandma. And I asked him about another, but when he got to PV, and he said, Grandma, I really like it. And I said, oh wow, Ryan. I said, that's good. And so then Ryan ended up going back, and he said, Grandma, I made a commitment today. And I said, wow. I said, Ryan, I said, what made you choose PV? He said, Grandma, it felt like home. And I said, oh, wow, Ryan, cool. I said, I think you made a good choice.
They good little size.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing too bad though.
Yeah. Not gonna be able to run over all. He's all right. We'll keep him. Nah. I love Ryan. He's the ultimate athlete. He's going to give you everything he's got inside the classroom and out. So if that means, the work he's putting in the classroom to help his brain grow, he's also putting that in the weight room to help his body grow. And I think he's only going to continue to do that in college. And I'm excited to really see him take it to the next level.
I've said this over and over about Ryan, that he doesn't just dream big. He dreams big and works hard to make those dreams come true. And that makes all the difference between him and so many kids that don't see success. Like whatever he says he's going to do, I believe it.
Told me from very early on that he was going to get a scholarship to play football for college, but he also was going to get an academic scholarship. So to make sure that he was to know that he was a student athlete. We talked about that all the time.
Even when I signed him up in middle school for all pre-AP classes so that he can be in all AP classes in high school, they told him it was hard. And I was like, okay, so ask him, it's harder than what?
That little boy that told me, Miss G, I'm going to get a scholarship to play football and an academic scholarship, that would tell me that. I think seeing it really happening, like it's one of those moments that we love as a teacher, because that was his goal and he stayed true to it.
As a musician, Ryan is a very hard worker, and if there's stuff that he doesn't get, once attention is called to it, he'll really sit down and work on it, but he'll try and get by for a little while. He's super smart musician too, like he can listen to things and figure out if something's weird. Like if I would ask the band, like, hey, what's wrong here? He'd be, we're not playing together. Or, just like weird answers like that, he would be able to pick up on pretty quick. So he's really intuitive.
While he was at the International Leadership School, he chose the saxophone. Yeah, that was his instrument of choice. He made first chair. He loved playing it. And he's just been playing it ever since.
I got your little nameplate.
Oh, real?
Yeah.
I heard I got you.
Yeah, I got your nameplate off the white jersey.
I thought real?
Well, just come find me tomorrow.
All right,
He's a football player. It doesn't matter what you ask him to do. He just loves to play football. And he does love to play football, but Ryan's also a very good teammate. He's never going to tell you no. And so he was saying, okay, coach. At the banquet that year, I jokingly said he did everything but sell popcorn during the games, because he played, linebacker, D-line, he played everywhere. Running back, fullback, running back. So, he was just a guy that was going to do whatever it took for his team to win, and he was always going to say yes, sir, and do it with a smile on his face.
It's all this year. Got my automotive certificate. What's this? Varsity stuff. It's entry level, but I know how to do a little things stuff.
Engine repair. You can repair engine, dude?
Yeah.
He was always about fixing things around the house, taking something apart to see how it works, stuff like that. He took a gaming system apart at one point. I wasn't happy. But we got out of that he was going to become an engineer. That's what we got out of that.
One day I'm like, I got bored around the house. I saw it in my closet, and I just started taking it apart. My parents came in, they said, you making a mess, ain't you? And I was like, yeah. And then they're like, do you know how to put it back apart? I was like, no. And I'm like, well.
He had to be about 6? Yeah. I was not pleased.
So I played 2 years varsity in high school for Cypress Falls Eagles. And then from there, I went to play for Howard Payne University in Brownwood, Texas. Small little school, but definitely made the best of what I had there. I've been here for about a year. I came in last April. It's been a great process. Come on to the locker room. You get to see the world from a different lens. You get to see it from the business side. You get to see what the players and now the coaches actually see. Just knowing what the players want and knowing what the coaches now want, you get to see it from both lenses, and you can just bring it all together. Gotta get some gloves, man. The biggest thing that I do and that I try to live for is the next person. So when that young kid or even that college football player, maybe the NFL or something like that doesn't work out, there's always different avenues that you can take in sports. And I'm so glad to be able to showcase that. Coming from HBCU, coming from a one-parent home, coming from different backgrounds, it's a blessing. And I'm so grateful to be in this position. Prairie View needs a lot more love. They've given a lot of people opportunities. Every semester, every year we have people graduating. I think it just boils back down to being an HBCU. Just overall as a school, we don't get the love we really need and respect. You say Prairie View A&M, people don't look at us as that. If you say Texas A&M, everybody knows what that is. But when you go and say Prairie View A&M, oh, you go to Prairie View, it's just the HBCU, another thing they sweep under the rug. There's so many different opportunities that people take on here. Our biggest thing is our nursing program. There's so many nurses that come out of here. When I go speak at different places or go to different places and I wear my PV gear, I'm like, oh, I went to Prairie View. There's so many alumni everywhere. There's so many people doing different things that people don't really realize. They're not coming off from the big schools like Harvard and things like that. They come from HBCUs like Prairie View.
Just what was the athletic complex like back during the good old days? Well, I'm so glad to say that we finally see a dawn of a new era. Just look at what we see now.
We have this great facility, nice facility, and this facility been up for a minute now. When we're recruiting and we get them on campus, oh man, we got them. We got a really good chance, because it's just so many that always say that, oh man, this is nice. They're looking around, oh, this is great. Oh man, this is nice. Y'all got one tonight. I didn't know y'all had all this. That's the next thing come out their mouth. So really.
You're number 2 on that side.
Hey.
And the only grandson too on that side.
Yes, it's one boy, one girl on each side.
Really?
And then he was born an uncle, so he has how many nieces and nephews?
I got 3 nieces and 1 nephew.
3 nieces and 1 nephew.
Yeah.
So that was confusing because they would be out and about and somebody would say, "Who is that?" The one of the kids would say, "Oh, that's my uncle," and the kids would be like, "No," the adults would be like, "No, you're confused." Like, no, that's my uncle. That's my uncle. So Ryan was born an uncle. But he's uncle.
Really young.
Mark and Tamara have been around and so involved and always made not only me but his other teachers feel very welcome and like we were a part of the process as well. I mean, he's just a special kid that comes from a special family. And I mean, all of the students I've taught are special, but it is cool to have kids like this that you get to see from 4th grade on up, grow on up, yeah.
Feel good. Look good, feel good, That's all that matters,
Hey y'all, the driver's outside. I want him to take some pictures with us before he leaves.
He has a strong community of servants, people that are servant leaders, and it shows.
He's such a good sport, isn't he? Most
Yeah,
teenage boys would be like,
Bruh.
oh,
1, 2, 3.
Oh, y'all look like y'all were going to prom together.
I know my prayer was, Lord, please let me not mess this child up. you know, let me do what I need to do to steer this kid in the right direction, because I know that when you have a child that has those abilities and has that personality, the enemy's always going to be around him to try to knock him off track. When you have a kid like Ryan, it really kind of makes it easy.
Silly
And if
balls.
you spend any amount of time with him, you quickly understand that. He's not like any other kid.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
Open your eyes, y'all.
You know that this kid is going to do some great things. You just really want to be in a position to where you can just guide him.
She's all worried that he's not gonna have a phone charge.
That's what's bad about it. You can have 5 cars at the rest. Everybody looking for Ryan.
Right.
And he gonna be just sitting there hanging. Like, where's everybody on?
Oh, I mean,
I'm up now though. I was getting sleepy. Yeah. So
You been at cruise ship pose.
oh, whatever.
I believe that God really blessed me and his mom with this special young man, and all we had to do was just steward him in the right direction. And like I said, it was just easy. He's a good kid.
With a leaping Graham Evans in coverage, and the drive continues. Daryl Hodges, Prairie View A&M's lead receiver. Last 6 games, the kid's been on fire, 34 catches, 600 yards.
My time at PV was, I would say, pretty good. Borderline amazing. It was ups and downs, of course. You know, you had to get adjusted to whatever was going on as far as like the athletic side and the student side. But I had a great time at PV. Everybody, like I made so many connections, and I learned so much, and I've grown so much as a man when I was at PV. It was an amazing experience. I can name several guys right now I still talk to today. Like, we were family, we hang out during the games, after the games, every day of the week, during the calf, hump days. Like, we were like clicked up tight. Whenever you seen one of us, you seen all of us. Like, it was that type of family. And my focus, like it was, I was more of a, to be honest, instead of a student athlete, I was an athletic student. My grades were not slipping. I still ended up with like a 3.7. I was cool, I was good, you know what I'm saying? Not gonna sit here and say, do not go to class, because I went to class, I was sitting in the front, I was doing my work, but football was my focus. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I actually would like to thank my coach, Coach Reggie Moore, for basically from raising me from a pup into, I would say, a dog. You know what I'm saying? He got me ready for this stage as far as like the competition level, the work ethic, just everything, how to prepare myself from day one. And he introduced it to me and I just ran with it. So yeah, they got me ready as far as like learning how to work, how to outwork people, how to just compete, and what it takes to not only get to that level, but to stay and sustain and improve and keep getting better. And we look out for one another, and we want the best out of from one another. So yeah, from the coaches to the students, like, we were close. The coaches try to push you as much as they can in the most respectful way, and you're gonna get a player. I mean, a player, you're gonna get attitude, but you're gonna get the best out of the player at the same time. I mean, me, as far as me, I'm gonna talk my little talk, but as far at the same time, I'm gonna do what I need to do. And I could take coaching, but I appreciate everything that that both of them has done for me, and the other coaches as well. As an HBCU player, you have to do the most. Like, you have to go into that stage, into the league, and you have to approach practice every day like, I gotta do this and that. Like, I gotta prove myself, not only myself, but to them, that I am who I say I am. And you have to just have that mindset that I'm gonna outwork my competition every day. We don't get as much exposure. So if you wanna make it from a HBCU, you're gonna have to lock in, you're gonna have to do the most, you're gonna have to do extra, you're gonna have to put your pride to the side. just being honest, like we're not gonna get the TV time. We're not gonna be on ESPN every week. We're not gonna be on TV every week. So when you get your opportunity, you gotta make the most of your opportunity. Like every game, you gotta go out and compete. Every practice, you gotta go out and compete. Never get comfortable to whether you feel like you made a play to this day, you got to make 2 plays the next day. After that, you got to make 3 the next day. You got to keep standing out, and compete, and you got to do extra. Like that's the mindset of an HBCU player. Like we don't get the respect we deserve. It's a lot of guys in HBCUs that's more talented than you know, but we don't get the exposure, so you don't get to see them. I didn't really take mental health serious until I actually went through it. Everybody thinks, like looking from outside in, that you have it made. And they say he has this and that. What does he have to be? What is he unhappy about? Why is he feeling this type of way? And they think money buys happiness. I would say it does not. It causes more problems, if anything, and more expectations on self. I was just leaving Cleveland and I went to Detroit. And when I was playing in Detroit, it was the worst year of my NFL career. I thought I was gonna be done. And I just got into this mental state to where I did not want to do anything. I did not want to play sports. I didn't want to be around family. I didn't want to do anything. Like I just couldn't find a way to see like light. And that's when I first realized I'm like, mental depression is real. Everything that I was doing that was routine, it did not come natural anymore. Like catching the ball, couldn't catch the ball, was dropping. And that took me into a dark state and I didn't really know how to handle it, but if you feel like and I'm talking to the world or whoever's watching this, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, then do that, because holding stuff in is only gonna make it worse. It's a lot to deal with. And it took a lot of pressure off myself, because sometimes you feel like you can carry the world, but you can't. You can't do it alone.
Ryan Avery Moses Hall.
We kind of grew up like rivaling each other though, like as a football aspect, you know what I'm saying? It was always a rivalry, but that just made us stronger, like loving on each other. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody thought we was like rivals, but to us, we was just like brothers, just compete for a better spot. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a bond that you can't really explain in words. You got to see it. Like the smile that he put on my face when I'm down and I'm upset, the smile that I'm able to bring to him when he's down and upset. If he ever needs something, he can call on me. If I ever need something, I call on him. We didn't spend the night at each other's house all the time to talk about nothing but football and life goals and stuff like that, where we want to be in life. And to see it coming together, you know, it's like, I don't know, like blood don't make us no thicker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We don't need no blood to know we family. You know what I'm saying? It's a lovely bond.
I dealt with him as not him being a man, but understanding that regardless of what age he is, he's going to be a man one day. And it's no sense to start training him to be a man at 18 Start at 3, start at 2. And one of the things that I've always told him, even from as a child, I said, I'm not going to talk to you as a child. You're going to be a man one day, so I'm going to talk to you as a young man. And if we had to have a discussion, I'd either put him in a chair and look at him eye to eye, or I would get down on one knee and I would talk to him eye to eye.
Okay, Ryan, so you wrote a song?
Yep.
What is your song?
It's Don't Worry, God Will Protect You.
Who wrote that song?
I did.
You did? Okay. Sing it for me.
He used to go to these day camps for summer. It used to be at churches, at the YMCA and stuff like that. And every time we would go to pick him up at some point, some adult would come out and they would want to meet us. I kid you not. They'd be like, I wanted to meet you. He's such a good kid. That would happen a lot. He transitioned to the YMCA. And there was this lady who came out to greet us, and she's coming. And me and Mark are in the car. We're like, here he goes. We know what's coming. We know what's coming. I kid you not. People who have never met each other. So she comes to the car and she said, I just had to meet you guys. I'm like, yes, playing it cool. And she said, I just have to tell you that earlier today, we have a kid who stutters. Now, Ryan was taking speech, and he was taking speech because he had a little bit of a lisp. And the little kid was stuttering, and he stuttered, it was pretty significant, pretty profound. Ryan pulled him over to the side and started encouraging him and telling him about all that he could do to overcome, his stuttering, how he could slow down, everything that the speech pathologist had been telling him because he had been in groups. He starts encouraging this kid. The teacher goes over because she's like, oh God, what's happening over here? She says she walks up on him and he's encouraging this kid. And she was like, I said to myself, I gotta meet this kid's parents. And she came out to the car. She told us this whole story, and I was like, she was like in tears. I was like, proud moment for you to extend care beyond yourself. That was huge for me. It was little things like that. So when I say not my child, I would have never done that when I was little.
He's a leader.
Yeah.
I see that in him. I believe he's going to be a great leader.
Being the kid who he was, he still had no problem taking the leadership role. He has no problem with the younger kids, helping them along, giving them advice and giving and tutoring them on the football field, in the classroom. But I want him to be a change maker throughout the campus. And that's generally what he does. He goes in and he creates change just by his presence. And that's what I want him to do. I want him to go up there and when he graduates in 4 years, 6 years, that we can say that Prairie View's a better place since he's been there. And that's really what I want him to do.
Going up to PV, it's not like, it's all business. It's also a family, you can be able to go to anybody in that running back room, including the coaches, and you'll be able to talk to them, just like a judgment-free zone. And I really love that. It gives me an opportunity to see how would I fit into that rotation. I'll be able to contribute. And then actually getting a deep dive into my major, and getting more experience with that.
I've been granted opportunity to work for the New England Patriots under Preston Rodgers. That was an opportunity blessed to me by my equipment manager, Mitchell Smith. Came can't wait to go work for them. I'm going to show my work ethic and the different things that I do here and just kind of transfer it and just hopefully they love me. Hopefully they want to keep me, but if not, I'm just keep doing what I'm doing and just pushing forward.